The Unnatural is brought to you by Hermit's Nook Productions. The following is mature content. Listener discretion is advised.
The problem with small towns is that news spreads quickly. Las Vegas, New Mexico is no exception. The sun had hardly broken the horizon when Kathy Lynn stumbled upon Liza Montoya's decaying body. She had been walking her sweater-clad chihuahua when she decided to sit in the gazebo to take in this beautiful morning. Her scream woke most of the guests in the Plaza Hotel. Before the patrol officers that responded to the call could even tape the scene off, the entire hotel staff and patronage was out in the plaza. Not long after that, the news spread to the town and the local news media. Aurora looks on from the entryway of Hermit's Nook, while Rafael, Barela, and Sergeant Vigil examine the scene. Rafael crouches next to Liza's spread-out body and holds her latest driver's license photo up. Her eyes are open again. Slightly deflated cataracts stare into Rafael. He looks up at Barela.
She popped up.
How the hell did she manage to get over here like this?
Rafael and Barela shoot one another a look. Sergeant Vigil shakes her head in disbelief and hands Rafael paperwork.
Here, the log and a statement from the lady that found her.
She points over at Kathy, now holding her trembling chihuahua close to her chest.
Anyone see Eloy today?
No, not since early last night. But it looks like he left in a hurry. All his stuff is still here.
Miles away, nestled high in a tree deep in the Santa Fe National Forest, sits an overly excited 9-year-old boy. Solis Hernandez was so excited for his first hunt that he couldn't sleep. He tossed and turned in his bed, imagining what kind of majestic buck he might kill. Which subsequently means he is currently dozing off in his hunting stand. Solis hastily grabs his rifle and props it up. He looks through his scope and scans the woods. Suddenly, he spots it. Solis's heart races as he watches Eloy Ramirez barrel through the woods. His face drips blood, his dirty clothes are shredded to bits, and he drags a length of barbed wire behind him. His skin hugs his bones like a vacuum-sealed steak. Eloy suddenly smashes his face into a tree trunk.
Oh, God.
A small puddle forms around Solis's knees. He trembles, paralyzed with fear. Eloy pulls his head back, grabs the barbed wire, and wraps it tightly around his head. His barbaric crown hangs crooked as blood streaks down his face and around his toothy smile. He looks around, then directly into Solis's scope. At the morgue, detectives stand with the deputy coroner. He grimaces as he unzips the bag containing Liza's gray body.
Jeez. Car crash, you said?
Yeah, totaled a truck.
The deputy coroner leans in closer as he examines, an inquisitive look on his face.
James Dean's got nothing on her.
Liza's hair is matted with blood. The skin on one side of her face is nearly gone, and her torso is flayed. Rafael and Barela eye the corpse with arms crossed.
What did the toxicology report say?
The initial findings say traces of heroin and THC were present, but we won't know exact amounts until we get the full report.
He lifts a blue arm. Liza's hands are shredded to bits, her fingernails broken down to less than nubs.
Whoa.
The coroner points to several wounds on her torso.
These look self-inflicted. Some type of edged implement.
Barela frowns and leans in.
Poor girl. And it appears she was hacking at herself.
The coroner gestures to the larger of the stab wounds. It's jagged and torn, ripped open.
Like she was trying to get something out?
Or like she was losing her mind from 15 plus years of heavy drug use.
Almost every bone in her body's broken. She must have hit the pavement going 60, maybe 70 miles an hour. Her internal organs alone wouldn't have survived that kind of impact. Which begs the question, detectives. How did she end up where you guys found her?
Rafael shoots Barela a pointed look. He rolls his eyes in return.
Barela. All right. Be right there.
Aurora and Cladovia tidy up the shop as they prepare to close. Cladovia bundles bushels of sage, securing them with string. Aurora wipes the counter down, staring out the window at the vacant gazebo.
It's weird not seeing Liza and Eloy out in the plaza.
Better for business, mija. They were always scaring off customers.
I feel bad for them.
They chose their paths. Don't feel sorry for them.
We should still try and help them. Well, you and Papa always said that...
Some people are beyond help, Aurora. You have to want help to receive it. You have to want to be better, mija.
But Abuelita, if all they've ever known is darkness, how could they possibly see the light?
Mija, sometimes the darkness is their light.
I still wish I could help.
You can't save everyone, mija.
Rafael sits with Mona Rivera, the office clerk. She has a grunge flair and stylish glasses. They watch Solis through a two-way mirror.
I would never bring my kid in to talk to him. Did he seriously ask for Barela? Like, specifically?
Mm-hmm. Look, I've seen Barela act like he has a heart twice since I've known him. When Sandoval passed, and when that little boy's father was killed. His grandpa brings him in every now and then when he's having a hard time. Barela never turns him away.
Solis's hair is messy. He's tired, and his heavy eyes look like they could burst into tears at any moment. Barela comes in with 2 cups of hot cocoa stacked high with whipped cream. Solis looks up and gives him a smile. Barela lowers his mug to reveal a sloppy, creamy mustache on his upper lip.
Careful, it's a little hot.
You've got...
What?
And then Barela smiles.
How's school?
Good, I guess.
Girlfriend?
You.
Ill is right. Math?
C minus, I think.
Math sucks.
I know. So do girls.
Solis begins to relax a bit. His feet hang and swing playfully under the chair. Barela is patient.
How was your hunt?
Solis looks up at Barela, eyes full of fear.
It's okay. Grandpa told me that you saw something that scared you. You don't have to be brave in front of me, Solis. I already know you are.
I thought it was a deer. It sounded like a big deer, real loud through the brush. I looked through my scope where I heard it, because I was going to shoot it as soon as it came out, but...
What was it? What did you see?
A man? He was skinny and all bloody, and he was crying. Or laughing. I never want to see that. I never want to see that again.
I understand. I wouldn't want to either.
Do you believe me?
Yeah, I believe you.
Solis leaps across the table and hugs Barela around his neck. Barela hesitates, then gently hugs him back. Aurora sits crisscross in the center of Hermit's nook. The curtains are drawn, and the shop grows darker every second. It's lit only by a dim light hanging over the counter. Aurora lights 3 candles in front of her and picks up a wooden mallet. She closes her eyes, shifting her focus to Eloy. Aurora opens her eyes to find herself sitting in the gazebo. It's old and falling apart. Hundreds of needles litter the floor. Rot crawls across the banister like poison veins. She looks out at the surrounding park and finds, instead, an ocean of needles rising and falling. Dark clouds swirl overhead. Aurora rushes over to a huddled figure on the bench across from her.
Eloy? Eloy, are you okay?
The huddled figure turns to look at her. Eloy's face is sunken in and hollow. His eyes are wide in fear, and his lips tremble.
It's coming. What's coming?
Aurora looks around at the darkness that surrounds them and glimpses a man in a New Mexico State Police uniform, standing in the waves, just out of focus. He turns and flees before she can see his face.
It's coming. It's coming.
What's coming? Eloy, where are you?
Tears pour from Eloy's eyes, but his mouth curls into a terrified smile.
I'm right here.
Aurora looks down at her hand. A dark red splotch drips from her palm. She looks up to find the rot from the banister leaking. The darkness leaps at her, consuming her. Aurora is violently thrown back. She slams against the bookcase, her candles blow out, and the small light bulb above the store counter pops. She looks down at her palm and finds a drop of blood. Back in the state police office, Rafael and Barela sit across from each other. Case files and autopsy photos litter the desk. Rafael gazes at a picture of Barela and Carlos on Barela's desk.
Do you believe in ghosts, Barela?
Are you serious?
You have to believe in something.
I believe in what I see.
That doesn't answer my question. Aurora's dad used to say that life chips away at your soul. That under enough internal pressure it could break, shatter like glass. If you didn't collect those pieces, they could haunt you. Liza Montoya, now Eloy Ramirez, and Solis sees this strange bleeding man in the woods. If we don't figure out what's going on here, it'll haunt us. You know that.
He's 9, Ramos. He saw a big turkey vulture tearing down on a carcass. That doesn't mean you run off to Hogwarts and play fairy tale.
Rafael glances down at his phone. It's a message from Aurora.
Humor me.
Rafael paces by the counter of Hermit's Nook. Barela stands by the door, arms crossed. He fans mist of sage smoke away from his face.
Something is attached to Eloy. Something dark, angry, and full of hatred. And Eloy, it's like he's not in control. He's been reduced to a feeble, scared soul. Whatever he is, whatever he's doing, it's not him.
Like a possession.
Similar. But this feels different. More personal. I don't think it's stemming from a demonic entity.
Someone is doing this on purpose?
And whoever they possess has no control over it.
But they can still feel everything. Whoever is doing this is torturing them to the point of death, but not letting them die.
Whoever it is kicked me out before I could get a clear look.
Aurora makes